Okay, welcome to Module 6 of Computer Science B42, Intro to Web Development using HTML and CSS. In this module, we'll be covering HTML tables. Before you get into constructing your tables, I just want to go over a few aspects of table creation in HTML that may not be intuitive. So we'll talk about the structure of tables, and then I'll do a quick demonstration of how to build out a 3x3 table using HTML. And I think that will help you just sort of wrap your mind around what we're doing in this module and how to approach table building. So a table typically is something that we use for the display of data. Sometimes we use them for other aspects of HTML web development. But really, for the sake of our users, we really want to stick to displaying data or displaying some kind of figure or some set of information that is best displayed in a tabular format or in a table like this. So this might be a set of companies showing their revenue over a 4-month period of time. And it makes it easy to compare the different companies and compare the different months and that sort of thing. And a lot of times when we're talking about tables, we talk about rows and columns. So we have a column being the vertical set of information. So company A would have a column of data, 5,000, 7,000, 13,000, 8,000 below it. Company B and company C would each have their own column of data. And then the rows would be April, May, June, and July, all the way across, 5, 2, and then $500. So when we think about rows and columns, that's pretty normal if you've used Excel or any other sort of program like that. In HTML, the structure of a table is a little bit different. And the structure of a table in HTML requires a lot of what we call nesting, which means putting tags or sets of tags inside of other sets of tags. So when we build a table, the first thing we do is we create a table. We create the container that has all of the things in it. And inside that table, we will create rows. So far, so good. This is pretty normal. But we don't create columns inside a table. We actually create cells, and the cells all belong inside of rows. So what creates a column is the first cell in rows 1, 2, 3, and 4 visually creates a column, and those will line up, but we don't actually create a column. There's no column construct really in HTML for a table. So if I want to create a table like this, that's a sort of a 3x3 table, and put these amounts inside it, this is how it's going to look in PHP Storm. And I'm just going to kind of whip this out really quick, but you can always pause it and sort of see what's going on here. So as I said, the first thing we do is we create a table container. And this does have attributes, but I'm not going to use any of them right now. So inside that table, we create rows with the TR tag, stands for table row. And I know I'm going to do a 3x3 table. So I'm going to create 3 rows. So far, we're doing pretty good. And if we were to go back and look at that, we would have the table, the red square, and then the blue rows inside that. So inside each row now, I'm going to create a table data cell. So that's where we get a TD tag. And I'm going to leave those on the same line. If I was going to put a lot of stuff inside this, I might put that down so I can have a little bit more of a nested structure. But just to make it a little simpler, I'm actually going to just put the TD tags on the same line as the content. So we're looking at this same thing. So we're going to do cell A1, cell B1, and cell C1 because we have this first row is what we're working on. So A1, B1, and C1. Now, if I was going to build out a table like this, I know that I'm going to use a lot of repetitive stuff. So I'm actually going to do a little cheat here, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it. And I know row 2 is going to have the number 2, and then row 3 is going to have the row 3 there. So now I've got my table, and I am going to just throw in a little bit of style here. Table, oops, got to put a style tag in there just to make it a little bit more visible so we can see this when we go look at it. Table, and I'm going to go border 1 pixel. Let's go 2 pixels, solid, and I'm going to make that one red. And then we're going to go TD, and we're going to do the same thing, except I'm going to make that blue, so 000FF. That's a bright blue color, so we can see where those borders come up. So I'm going to upload this now through deployment. And then let's go ahead and take a look at that assignment. And that was A6. Okay, so there is my little tiny table. Let's go back and let's space it out just a little bit more. So I'm going to go padding for each cell, and I'll make it 30 pixels. And I'm going to go spacing or margin around each cell. I'll just put 5 pixels there, and it'll give it a little bit more of a space. Don't forget to upload. And let's reload that page. Okay, so now I'm starting to see a little bit more of the table structure here. And you can see here it's the same kind of structure, but you can see where the table border is and the cell borders. Now, typically we don't use row borders, but you can apply style to a row. Sometimes people apply like a hover style to the row or something like that, which you can do, and that sort of makes it feel a little bit more interactive. But that's how you create a table, a very basic table in HTML and CSS, and there are some of the styling pieces of that. But please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.